Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 1, Pranayama, Breathwork practices. And so in this lesson, we're going to go into different practices, Pranayama practices or Breathwork practices, and the benefits of practicing with that connection to our breath and what can come from this. So the beauty of Pranayama is feeling that vibrance and vitality that runs through us. So it's a connection to feeling this in a greater way. We can feel the expansion of the energy within us. We feel this in a greater way. We can feel the beauty of this energy move through us, so this greater flow through us as we practice. Even the fullness of our breath. So for some people who feel like they have a shortening of breath, or maybe when they're active, they might feel like they don't have maybe endurance, you can notice this greater fullness of our breath and conscious ability through our consciousness, how we can feel within our bodies. We also start to realize this greater regulation within ourselves, so how we start to feel more regulated within, it can even be the elements, right? We start to feel more one, like as we mentioned before, so that we feel greater ease in different aspects of ourselves. So whether it be through the heat or through the cold, we begin to open up to feel greater oneness within those elements. And so breath and energy is one way that we begin to work with this and open and feel this in a greater way. And we also feel greater connection. So next we'll go into chakras, but in this specific lesson we'll specify into how we can feel with the different practices and deepen into these breathwork practices. So the first practice is understanding that deep abdominal breath, so our ability to connect more deeply into our breath, so we feel a greater fullness of our breath. So when we say deep breath, it's really feeling our breath from that lower abdomen. So usually what we will reference is starting at the root, which we'll talk about when we go into chakras next, but starting from that root or deep abdominals, lower abdominals, and being able to feel that fullness of breath and being able to hold this for longer. So again, we realize that greater breath within ourselves, that greater fullness of our breath, that greater ability in our breathing, greater feeling within our bodies through our breath, right? So there's so much that we connect to, even for people who might have issues sleeping, or they feel the shortness in breath when they sleep. This will allow them to connect to, again, that a realization of how they can breathe with greater ease and feeling within their bodies, and even just in everyday life activities, so that they don't feel like daily activities feel strenuous, that they feel this greater ease in everyday life, right? So to feel, they're not having to breathe heavy when they're going upstairs or when they're walking or anything like that, but just feel this greater ease in their breathing and in their body and in their ability, even being physical, right? So just daily life activities, or it could be, shoveling the snow or picking something up, just to feel this greater fullness and ease through breathing. And we talk about greater, we say endurance, but that's what I mean by feeling that greater ease in our ability, right? So that we don't feel shortening of that breath. We feel the fullness of our breath. We feel the fullness of our ability. Feel greater ease in our movement, everyday life, and how we feel. So that is the beauty of connecting to that breath in that way within ourselves and consciously connecting to this. So we'll start with a deep, full breath. So starting at the lower belly, we're going to inhale, filling the belly up for 4 seconds. We're going to hold, and then we're going to exhale slowly, releasing that. And so we'll do a few of these breaths, and what this will begin to do is just consciously connect you to your breath, to connection to your body, and as we deepen into these connections. So again, let's take inhale 4 seconds, we're going to hold for 4, and we're going to exhale for 4, and these are diaphragmic breaths, so again, deep breaths. And we're going to start to work into from the lower abdomen all the way up into the diaphragm. So we'll start to work with moving energy upwards, but we're going to start with these lower abdomen breaths first. So we'll begin inhale, filling the belly for 4 seconds. Hold here for 4. And then exhale for 4. Now, some things to be aware of when you're breathing is to notice how your body relaxes into the breath, and the beauty of that connection to ourselves and deepening into connection with our breath, with our bodies, and just feeling this in a greater way. So let's do 2 more deep belly breaths, deepening into our bellies, into that lower abdomen. And so we'll take a nice deep inhale, fill the bellies up for 4 seconds. Hold. Exhale for 4. Just releasing all the air. And start to feel as you